It's Friday again. Welcome to Questions with Father Luke. I'm Father Luke of Covenant Anglican Church in San Marcos, Texas, and today's question is, what advice would you give to someone who struggles with trusting others, including believers? Trusting others can be very difficult, especially if you've been wounded or let down by those who are supposed to be trustworthy, those who are supposed to have your back, a parent, a friend, a pastor, a teacher. But while trusting others can be this precarious venture, it is also an essential part of human flourishing. God made us in His image to bear His image through our work and through our relationships in the world. In Genesis chapter 2, God places His image bearer, Adam, in the midst of the Garden of Eden so that he could work it. And part of that work was to include or continue God's work of bringing order and to exercise authority over creation through naming the animals as such. And as Adam goes about this work, he's confronted with this reality that none of these creatures is like him. And to this stirred and felt need, God creates Eve, this woman, to be his helper, to be an encourager, to be a co-laborer with Adam. And part of what the opening chapters of Genesis makes clear is that humans were created to be in community, to be in fellowship with one another. Now, as the biblical story unfolds, however, we see the devastating effects of sin on human relationships. Adam and Eve, they sin against God, and ultimately, now they feel shame towards one another. They not only hide themselves from God, but from one another. Humanity's brokenness then spirals out of control with violence and deviant behavior, which often led to the subjugation of others. And then Jesus comes onto the scene as the answer to all of our brokenness. Jesus restores our relationship with God, which makes possible real reconciliation between others. And even still, genuine fellowship will take time, it takes grace, and for some, it's going to take counseling. But the Spirit of God is at work in individuals and in church communities. But that work isn't complete just yet, right? Which means that I'm going to sin against the people of covenant, and they are going to sin against me. We're not going to go out of our way, hopefully, to do that to one another. It is just the reality of it. But rather than pulling back in fear, the Spirit gives us grace to seek forgiveness and to offer forgiveness. And when we, as communities, begin to reflect the grace of our God in the forgiveness of one another, then we will demonstrate the unity that Jesus prays for in John chapter 17. It's a unity that He says will shock and astound the world into believing who He is. So if you're struggling with trust, my encouragement for you is to pray and to step into a community and befriend somebody and allow them to befriend you. It's frightening. It's potentially dangerous. But when the Spirit moves, He will use it for your good so that you can flourish as God's chosen, saved child and used as His witness here in the world. So let's continue the conversation. Leave us a comment, drop us a comment or a message, come visit us on a Sunday morning, but let's connect, continue on.